I've been an ER nurse for 6. I've been working in ERs in Fort Worth for 4 years, serving every community in Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you.
I've been on the front lines of COVID.
That's right.
Okay, great. My question for the Fort Worth Police Department is a very honest one. Why are we supporting a candidate who has an active DUI case? Why are we supporting current leadership that shows poor judgment and that does not represent minority communities in Fort Worth?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. ¿Y por qué? Why are we not supporting? We get kidnapped, we get assaulted. I know how difficult the job is to be a police officer. I see it from behind. I also know, coming from the community like Northside, the problems that we deal with when we also have to deal with police. It's an intersection, and there's nothing wrong with asking questions and expecting accountability and professionalism from people who are trained to do the right thing.
Ask the question.
As an ER nurse, if I got a DUI right now, my license would immediately have a restriction on it. And I would not be able to take care of my children. But yet we have current leadership who are so brazen to think that they can just keep on running. And nobody's talking about it. Yo quiero saber por qué.
Some of them even beat their women up and they're still running.
So,
You know that's right, girl.
I've been down at City Hall, banging my head against the brick wall. So I decided, you know what? I don't know anything about politics, but you know what? I can ask people who do, right? Because when you don't know how to do something, you go find the smartest person in the room who does. That's in place to help the person that's standing in front of me. That's the kind of leadership we need in Fort Worth. And as the only Latina in this race, a lot of you may not be able to vote for me, but you can donate, you can volunteer.
I wrote your cards.
Araceli has postcards. And also, I made a decision before running that I was going to run a bilingual campaign. All of my signs are Spanish y español. Todas mis tarjetas están en inglés y español. Sí se puede. I want to bring transparency to the seat. I want to be able to come and talk to everyone in my district and tell them what we're doing. They don't come. There's no patrols. People are racing up and down our streets. Traffic is horrible. We live in the north side of Fort Worth and City Hall has forgotten about us. They take our tax dollars, but we never hear from them. I want to change that for the seat. And as a younger adult in the generation behind my mother's generation, I'm here to say that we're standing up to take control and say that we will not be ignored and you will hear our voice. So this is why I'm running for city council. So if you want to support my campaign, habla en español también. I have over 1,500 registered voters that speak Spanish in my district who I want to talk to every single one of them because they matter to me. Son mi familia.
And she can dance.
We can do some Selena if I want to, like we can, you know. Thank you so much for being here. Daniel, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, do we have questions? Do we have questions for Tara? Questions? Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Have you taken any money from the Police Officers Association?
I have not. I actually would love to just have a conversation with them because here's another thing about me. I am the byproduct of the PALS program in Waco, Texas. Had it not been for Officer Lionel McGee, who is now working with the McLennan County Sheriff's Department, I would have been just another traviesa, chingona, Latina, yeah, you know, bro in the hood. But had it not been for him taking an interest in me, I wouldn't be standing here today. And so my message to the Fort Worth Police Department is, I'm not your enemy. I actually work with you. But I also want to make sure that like the professional that I'm supposed to be, that they as well have to be accountable too, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Will you ever take money?
I will not.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Northeast Fort Worth. I don't know, we can pass this around if you want to. I call it the skinny Louisiana.
Which is the product of gerrymandering?
Yes, gerrymandering. Mind you, redistricting is on the table right now. We don't have enough time to go into that. But it goes from I-35 and Golden Triangle, down 35 East into Carter Riverside, and then east on I-30 to Meadowbrook, down to Rhinewood and Eastern Hills. So.
I just want to say something. And the reason why I'm writing cards for Tara, and because we've never had a Latina city council. I want Tara to be the first Latina on city council. And the fact that she's running against an idiot that wanted to bring Joe Arpaio. Norma, you can tell us, right? He wanted to bring Joe Arpaio.
Carrie Moon is totally against the immigrant community.
Exactly.
The Latino community.
But that's the
Please support her campaign.
Please support Tara Wilson. Please support from both sides of the office. Right here, this is our office. We gotta get out and support Latinas.
Oh, let me just add one more thing. In my race right now, I am the most viable challenger out of all the opponents, head and shoulders.
Very much, sir. Our next speaker is a candidate for Arlington City Council District 3. Arlington, our lovely neighbors to the left. Los Cowboys. Okay, so we're going to have her come up. Go or go by.
Buenos días, familia. Buenos días. Aquí estoy con mi familia. You all know me probably as a Fort Worthian. Surprise, surprise. I hope to be the first Latina elected to the Arlington City Council. For me, you can donate and volunteer. I have 4 candidates. I have an African-American Republican who is representing the establishment to make sure that they turn back the term limits that we have put in place in Arlington, which has allowed us to have diversity. Now we have 3 African-American city council members, a diversity that we've never had in Arlington. I would be representing District 3. District 3 is the minority draw. My number 1 issue is affordable housing. It's great that we have spent our bond money building first-class sports facilities, but we saw what happened during the pandemic, and Arlington has put all their eggs in one basket. And as a small business owner for over 20 years, I need to let you know, excuse me? I need to let you know that the reality is that we do not have affordable housing in Arlington. The Mansfield folks, and I ran for Mansfield ISD in 2015 and beat 3 Anglo opponents to get into the runoff. So they know their time is up.
That's right.
And we need, really, I need your support to volunteer. I need you to get the word out. All of us have family that live in Arlington, and we need to make sure. I have not had the support of my own LULAC chapter, unfortunately, where I am a member, and I need you to know that now. Other council members, which you know has to happen for us to be effective. I cannot be a single vote. I need votes of everyone. And just because other establishment members know that I can win and ask me to win, I'm not carrying anybody's water, and anybody who knows me knows that. I am independent. I work for myself so that I don't owe anybody anything. And I am not going to do anything that is going to embarrass my community. I'm a founder of the Latina List. So I ask for your support. I ask to get the word out. Of course, the police did not endorse me, which is okay.
It's okay.
Of course, the firefighters did not endorse me. That's okay. I have the endorsement of the Black Moms of Arlington, and the school board, and to others. And if that means that my community LULAC me tiene envidia or thinks I speak English too well, y no hablo español, that is not the case. I'm a woman with a track record here in Fort Worth and in Arlington. So I ask for your support. Gracias.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You have a question, right over here. Felix Salvador.
I'm Felix Alvarado. I am District Director for LULAC District 21. And I want everybody to know that this is district. This is not district, this is national policy. We do not endorse any candidates at all. Party, doesn't matter. We are neutral when it comes down to politics. Now, we will invite you, just like right here, okay? We can invite you to talk to us, but we will not endorse you. That is our policy, and I want to know if somebody's breaking that policy, because it's my job, okay?
They're not breaking the policy. They're using social media to call me the establishment candidate.
Yeah, listen.
And they're undermining my candidacy.
But is it under LULAC?
Luis Castillo and Joanna Cardoza are not supporting me.
Hold on, 1 second. This is the question section. Y'all can debate this gracefully afterwards. Do you have a question for the candidate? Or
Yes.
Thank you, Felix.
Okay, so I want to understand because I'm
Make sure
really,
it's on. Make sure it's on.
I'm an educator by trade, okay? I am not a politician, and sometimes this politician yells that has a special meeting in the park for the police chief. How can you be talking out of both sides of your mouth?
I think it's really important. And the reason I raise it to LULAC is that both of those individuals, they ran for office. And they're the only two Latinos who have run recently. And we need to support one another. If you can't support me, stay out of it.
But there's no answer to my question.
About the police?
Well, what I'm saying is I see a lot of
Economics takes over and change will come. Redevelopment will happen to that corridor, whether the city directs it or not. The question becomes, how do we want that to look? And how much control do we have over that over that change? But it's not my job as your council person to tell you what's best for you. It's my job to work with you and listen to come up with solutions that are best for everybody. And so I would like to see more dialogue happen at the beginning of projects with the city, not when the lot next to you has been raised and the new building is going up. And so I hope that what we can give the residents of those communities are the answers that they need and the assurances that they deserve that any changes happening to the Hemp Hill corridor are going to enhance the community around it, not displace it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions around the room? Right over here.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm Emma. We will be endorsing Dora on Wednesday when we interview her. And I want y'all to know that Elizabeth Beck has been supporting Texas Latina-ness for years.
Yes, she has. Yes.
And unfortunately, we cannot support her because she's not a Latina, but she has raised money to get Latina candidates all over Texas.
Yes.
At the same time, I have worked with her closely, and my daughter has too, in getting health care to women who cannot afford it. So, and this is why I support Elizabeth Beck. I am her campaign treasurer.
Yeah.
And I'm a Latina, and she's been my daughter forever, and unfortunately, she's not brown.
She's us, though. She's a woman, and she supports us.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. Thank you very much.
Again, I was here last meeting speaking. Just telling you a little bit about myself, and I'm going to do the same thing today. My name is Fernando Peralta. I'm a proud husband and father. My wife is over there with my mom. I'm a member of the Texas Army National Guard, and then I'm also the president. I'm also the president of Las Familias de Rosemont Neighborhood Association on the south side. You know, I know most of y'all know that Rosemont is historically one of the most disenfranchised neighborhoods on the south side. And that's why I led the effort to reorganize our neighborhood association so we can have a real voice in our city for our community. You know, I didn't step up to bring my own agenda to the conversation, but to elevate the voices in our community, especially our Hispanic voices in our community. One of the biggest things that I've had the honor to do in the work that I've been doing, and I can proudly say that I'm the only candidate that's running for District 9 that has been boots on ground for the last several years, is bring that $3.1 million in neighborhood improvement money needed in my neighborhood to fix our streets, to fix the lights. Also to help advocate with my current city councilwoman, Ann Zeta, for free Wi-Fi for our Fort Worth ISD students so they can have internet during this pandemic, from this COVID pandemic, especially our Hispanic businesses in the Hemp Hill Corridor. I'm also part of the Hemp Hill Corridor Task Force, and I've been part of that group for a little over a year. And since I got on that group, I made sure that our Hispanic voices were always part of the conversation, and our Hispanic businesses were brought to the conversation. You know, development is coming, but the way we make sure that that development benefits our community is by having our community part of that conversation. Schools with Rosemont Elementary, Rosemont 6, and Richard J. Wilson, because I believe that our education of our youth is one of the most important things that we need to make sure that we're always talking about, because they are the next generations of leaders in our community. It's another thing that I wanted to share is, since I got here to Fort Worth, because I'm originally, if you can't see it from my face, I'm Puerto Rican. But since we got here to the DFW area in '97, I mean, I pretty much grew up here in Fort Worth. My mom was right there in Carmen. I remember we would come to Mass here at Todos Los Santos, Inmaculado Corazon. We were always here in Fort Worth going to Mass and here invested in the community. Padre Hassel was a man and a legend that I was able to serve with, being an altar server here at Todos Los Santos. And because of Padre Hassel and other people, I spent some time in Catholic seminary educating myself. But obviously, I left Catholic seminary when I met my wife. But I started working at Catholic Charities in 2014 because I want to continue to serve my community and doing that through homeless services. I'm one of the only candidates in this race that can say that I had worked, been in the streets, under the bridges, in the woods, all across our city, helping people get housed and off the streets, and helping them get the services that they need. Because I believe the way we get people off the street is by housing first with wraparound services. People across our city are struggling to pay for where they're living right now, especially those who have already paid their houses. And like many of my neighbors in Rosemont, they pay their houses, but those property taxes are crazy. So we need to make sure we're addressing these issues. And that's why, as serving in the Texas Army National Guard right now, I stay strictly nonpartisan, because that helps me focus on the issues that are affecting our community. So again, when we're talking about representation, we need to talk about that. District 9 was drawn as a Latino district in the 70s. And we've never been able to elect a Latino candidate. So right now, when we have a Latino candidate who's been doing the work on our streets, working with our community, working with different agencies in our community, and also advocate and vote for a candidate who has been doing the work and is willing to continue doing the work at the city council level. So again, Fernando Peralta, don't forget, you can go to my website, www.fernandoperalta.com. You can volunteer, donate, I have some extra shirts here if you want a shirt. And just come say hi to my baby Sebastian, who's there. And I'll open it up for questions.
All right, we got a question right here from Felix.
Mr. Peralta, with all due respect, the schools you just mentioned that you advocate for and so forth, I brought it to your attention that those students, after they graduate from 8th grade, they are sent to South Hills High School when Pascal High School is within their district.
That's right.
And you never responded, you never did anything about it. I asked if I could come meet with your organization so that the citizens in that district would be aware of the issue. You never gave me that opportunity. And these kids for 21 years have been sent to South Hills when the only high school in their district is Pascal.
Continue this conversation. I'm proud to do that with you because just a couple weeks ago, I was still getting calls from the administration about how they want to connect with more people like you who have concerns about this, and I'm willing to help those conversations continue to happen. So we can do that.
I am from Rosemont, and I moved into Rosemont in 1975 until the last 9 years that I've been here. So we know what 4155 can do to anybody that runs for office in Rosemont. Everybody that ran for office while we ran the politics got elected, every single one. And you can ask and check our history in Rosemont, and that's how we got Rosemont cleaned up. We didn't have no graffiti problem, we didn't have no drug problem, we didn't have the med block lights, we had all that stuff put in there. Because we had an organization that was nothing but voters. We called it Rosemont Voters League. So just check our track record and you will see how much we did in Rosemont and for District 9. And right now the issue that I just presented to Ms. Bagg is single member district. Because
it's just another comment that Norma's going to make. As you know, Southside is also special to me just as Northside is. And I commend any candidate that runs for office. But you know what I admire most is elected officials and candidates that are willing to go the extra in the trenches, doing the work in the community, getting to know your neighbors, the communities. I know many that are in here that have done that, that are doing that. I've seen for a fact Fernando be in the community with Familias de Rosemont for so long, you know, that we needed those voices over there. And that's how I met Fernando, working in the community. And he has open dialogue with many elected officials, has worked tremendously with Councilwoman Zeta that represents that district. He goes the extra mile. All last year during COVID, he, you know, did a lot of meetings, virtual meetings, you know, during COVID. I mean, he is out there, and I support Fernando because he is in the trenches talking to the community, and I see the work that he's done with the community, and it's time for his voice to be on City Council.
Thank you. And I just want to make sure that me getting to City Council is me bringing all our community to City Council. I want to make that very clear. This is all of us together. Go ahead.
Okay, last question right here.
Okay, so it's kind of a question, but more like a normal statement. I heard what you said that you're doing for the community, and I've been in education for 23 years. My undergrad is in education, and my master's is in curriculum and instruction, legal education and ESL. And as an educator, I know that I appreciate that you worked towards getting Wi-Fi for the children, but Wi-Fi was a DEA mandate. It was nothing that anybody did.
So I just want to say too, so it's funny because my mom has been an educator also for more than 20 years. So the reason I'm so passionate about education and I do whatever needs to happen in education and continue those conversations in our community is because I remember going to my mom's classroom, her bilingual classroom, every year to butt up her classroom and take down her classroom. And I saw the hard work that she did over those 20 years. So if I'm just an extra voice on something that's already coming, well, great. Because that's one more voice that maybe that we didn't have. So thank you for saying that.
I have a question.
And I want to clarify this for myself, and I'm glad I have you face to face because I admire the fact that you're saying you've been in the community, and I've seen you in the community. We've been on sessions before. But have you ever voted in a Republican primary? the truth, because the truth will set you free, and I want to know from you, because other people in the community are saying, I myself could never vote for a Republican with all the crap that they've done for us.
So, in our Hispanic culture.
No, recently though, when did you vote for her?
So,
Hold on. We don't need that type of back and forth. The man answer the question.
It's fine. I mean, so no, in this past election, I did not vote Republican. No. So she asked primary. So if you want to know ever in my entire life have I ever voted Republican? Yes.
When?
So I mean, my voting records are public.
When was it the last time?
So please understand that I voted on the issues. And so, yes, I have voted Republican before, but I have not voted Republican in the last primary election. So, see, this is the problem that we have in our community, that it gets so partisan that then we stop talking about the issues. So if it becomes a Republican and a Democrat thing, then this is the partisan noise that keeps our community out of the conversation.
No. When they're teaching like
Gaslighting.
No, that's what. No.
I mean, so if we want to talk about issues, we can talk about issues.
Issues?
If we want to talk about my voting record, that's public. But if we want to start talking about partisan, who'd you pick? Did you pick blue or red? Then those are conversations that are past. So if we want to talk about issues and what we want to do for our community, I'm happy to have those conversations. I mean, Ms. Ana said he knows how to get in contact with me. Mr. Raul, I've been in contact with him, and I will continue having these conversations, even if we're in the midst of still talking about the issues that are affecting our community. So I appreciate your question.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for being out here to the extremely Tejano session of the Chorizo Breakfast. Our last speaker, long story short, I never go too far into my personal life, but this is a wonderful event for me because our last speaker is running for city council, and her proud mother right over there, we grew up together in Pawnee. I'm talking hopscotch, jumping jack, hide and go seek, double dutch. She beat me in a race only because she took her shoes off back in the day. But it's an honor to be here as such a proud mother. She's working hard for her daughter. I'm going to let you introduce yourself and come right up, take this mic, and do your thing.
Just take a moment and close your eyes just for a brief second. While you close your eyes, think. When you were younger, how was your community? And now that you're at the age that you are now, how was your community? Now you can open it. Has anything really changed about your area that you're staying in currently? Or that you grew up in? Anything for the better? Okay, well, in my district, District 5, I grew up in the South 6 Echo Heights community, and nothing has really changed within the area that I currently see. I graduated from high school in 2013, and within that same, things are still the exact same for District 5 because I know that there's a change needs to be had. The community it lacks communication with our city councils right now. I'm 25, I'm young. Not just to throw that out there, you guys, but I am young. My boots are in the ground. Currently, I'm working on an environmental project with the Echo Heights community. There has been complaints about residents who struggle with getting their zoning and everything changing. Recently, I found out that there are residents within the neighborhood that have been labeled from residential to light industrial. And there's been people standing within those areas for over 20 years. Why is that? Next, there's a trucking company on 4900 Park Henderson Road currently, and they've been doing things as far as toxic about you guys, but I consider my pets to be family. And when you have to put that pet to rest, it saddens that whole family. And the fact that this is an ongoing issue that hasn't changed is sad. We went to city council, spoke on this issue, I want to say 3 to 4 times, in which the last time we got it to be denied. So that trucking company is not able to build up or put their company within our area. The reason I am running for city council is because I know that there needs to be a change. I know change is overdue within the area, and because I want to be that person to bring a difference to our area. I grew up in the South Echo Heights community, as I said before, and within our areas, There's more crime, affordable housing is something that needs to be worked on, and things such as street lights, potholes, here in our community. A lot of our people in our area are elders, a lot of them are parents, and hardworking citizens. So when we have the city council meetings, a lot of them aren't able to come down to voice what it is that they wanted to say to us, wanted to say to city council as far as things that they feel as though should be taking place within their community. And I feel as though when the agenda is already pre-planned, that should be taking place at the end of the city council meetings, opposed to being in the first half, that people who are trying to come downtown and speak on issues that they want to speak on can have the opportunity to do so prior to waiting to the end of the night, being dragged out and have to go back home, and then they're not even getting their voices heard. Things such as grants, budgets, and everything should be brought to the citizens and made aware to them so that they're able to apply for these grants that they are able to apply for, see if they qualify for these, and then with the city council moving downtown, well, moving to the new city hall, we need to make room in there so we can be able to assist people who are needing to apply for different things and to let them know how to go about doing so. The reason that I'm running for city council is because I know that there needs to be a change, and I'm willing to be that change. And I've been doing this since I was a little kid, for the city council meetings, knocking on door-to-doors, passing out flyers. I've been that person, as Mr. Fernandez said, boots in the ground. And I've been doing this since early school age. So this is something that I didn't just choose yesterday to run for city council. This is the person that's within the community and that's active within the community.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. James? For some folks that may not know, can you describe geographically the Stop 6 in Echo Heights area?
Yes. So District 5 consists of Stop 6, Echo Heights, Eastwood, some going towards Hewlett, towards the airport area, Meadowbrook, John T. White, majority of that. And so it's kind of like a long L sort of. I can't really draw it out for you, but the map I have is pretty small. So if I can, I'll pull it up and I'll come show you guys individually if you want to see it.
That's awesome. How many votes is it going to take to win in your race? And some of us don't know who the current incumbent is.
Okay.
And how many other opponents are in the race?
There are 4 other opponents. Gina Bivens is the incumbent right now. I believe she's been on the board since 2013, I believe it is. And my opponents are Ricky Vasquez, Antonio Harris, and Bob Willoughby, and myself. Looking at the numbers, I believe it's going to be at least 3,000 votes.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Right here, we have a question right here, Mr. Carlos Sainz.
Do you know the demographics of Hispanics that live in your district? About 60%.
Yes, sir.
Do you speak Espanol?
No, sir, I do not.
Just want to ask.
Thank you. But it is something that I do practice. I have the Babbel app on my phone, and I often go to the library to get Hispanic discs to play as a card to listen to it as well.
Okay, one last question right here.
I think it's more of a statement than a question. I have taught for a long time, and I think our problems, our issues are the same. We are called people of the year of the law.
Thank you so much. That was the last question for Ms. James. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Best of wishes on your race.